I went to the library today at 3 to check out a book about a bumblebee. But while I was looking for my book, I found one about a sailor named Captain Hook. I don't have a boat and I don't know how to sail, but the library's got a book about a big white whale, and books about planes, trains, and automobiles, so I can take a trip whenever I feel.
Hello fellow homeschoolers and YouTubers. Today we have another homeschool curriculum haul. Stay tuned.
If you want to learn something you don't know, or take a trip to the land where the baobabs grow, or learn how to knit or how to cook, go to the library and check out a book. I don't have a boat and I don't know how to sail, but the library's got a book about a big white whale, and books about planes, trains, and automobiles, so I can take a trip whenever I feel. The library's got books on everything, books on how to dance and books on how to sing, and books on planes, trains, and automobiles, so I can take a trip whenever I feel.
Over the summer, a local thrift store was closing its doors, and I got some great deals on some books, reading, history, teacher resource, music and art, and I just wanted to share this with you so that you can go to your local thrift stores and find great bargains to add to your homeschool library. Hope this helps. Things that I found were some teacher resource books, and I got 2 copies of The Educated Child, a parent's guide from preschool through 8th grade, to give to my grown children. They're starting to have families of their own, so I found 2 copies. I'm going to give that one to my son and one to my daughter's individual families. I also found this teacher resource, An Incomplete Education, Judy Jones and William Wilson. Okay. Okay, so you can see what's on the inside there. Oops. And the Mr. Rogers Parenting Book, Helping You Understand Your Young Child by Fred Rogers. And if I remember correctly, he was a psychologist as well as a puppeteer before he had his famous television series on PBS. These particular finds that I found at the thrift store is for home ec, arts, and music. We found Mrs. Field's Cookie Book, The Story Which Inspired the Sound of Music, the story of the Trop family singers. Carl Sandburg, Voice of the People. For art, we found Thomas Kincaid, Glory of Creation. Simpler Times by Thomas Kincaid. And this wonderful large book, The Impressionists. Okay, and we'll go ahead and show the inside of that. Okay. Next we found some American history and world history books, then it varies in grade ranges all the way from preschool or first grade all the way up to high school. So the first on our list is Journey Through History, the Greek and Roman Eras. Okay. Okay. Greek Myths. Okay. Roman numerals. This is not only history but math. I thought that was a fun way to learn the Roman numerals. Ancient Egypt, Life, Myth, and Art. Okay. American history, we found Virginia trivia. We live in the state of Virginia, so Virginia Studies is part of our required studies in the public schools under the SOLs. So go ahead. Okay. We have Upland, Virginia, Mr. Jefferson's Upland, Virginia. And we live in an area near where Thomas Jefferson had spent his summers. So I thought this was interesting.
How pretty that is.
It's really pretty. Okay. Next we have Civil War activity book. Okay. So that was really cool. We have Lewis and Clark for kids. Let's see if we can flip through that a little differently. Okay. We have Inauguration Edition, Lessons for America. And this is more like a newspaper insert. It's sort of newspaper style. Alright. And then we have Faces of Freedom, Profiles of America's Fallen Heroes, Iraq and Afghanistan. So I thought that would be a nice way to introduce the fact that the men and women fighting for our freedom and that we study about in history are real people with real names and real lives and real families. So I thought this would be a nice way of introducing appreciation and the love for our country and the men and women who fought and died for our country. Okay, next up we'll do reading. Next up on our homeschool curriculum haul from books that we found at a thrift store are these 3 books that could actually double up not only for reading but actually for art because of the quality of their illustrations. This one from David Wisner is called Freefall, and I just noticed today that it actually has no words, so this would be a good writing resource to have your children go ahead and write the story for the pictures, for the illustration. So as you notice, there are no words. The children could make up their own story. Okay, next. Next we have Jackrabbit. This is by Jonathan London. And if you notice, all of these illustrations are just spectacular. A lot of times when we're reading books, we don't really talk that much about the illustrators unless we purposefully, point them out. Then we have American Jackets by Eileen Fisher. See how the illustrations are just marvelous? You could use these illustrations as writing prompts. Let the child develop their own story. Next up, for books that we found at the thrift store to add to our reading library, is John Steinbeck's Of Mice and Men, The Invisible Man by H.G. Wells, Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston, Toni Morrison's The Bluest Eye, and don't hate me for the last 3, You're going to hate me. These were great bargains. I think I paid less than $3 a book for the next 3. The Complete Hans Christian Andersen Fairy Tales. 60 illustrations. The Complete Brothers Grimm Fairy Tales with 100 illustrations. Yes, I did pay less than $2.95 per book. And the Complete Edgar Allan Poe Tales. All the short stories, including The Fall of the House of Usher, The Telltale Heart, The Black Cat, The Murders in the Rue Morgue, and I can't pronounce the rest of them. But anyway, don't hate me, folks. Got a good deal on them. We're so excited in our homeschool because our homeschool library is expanding. Over the last few years of homeschooling, we've slowly built up our library by using our local thrift stores, online deals that we find, eBay, christianbook.com, amazon.com, Goodwill, and just items that's been on sale at our local bookstores. So stay tuned to our channel, and we'll continue to show the great deals we find so you can look in your local area to build up your homeschool resources as well. I hope these videos are helping you and inspiring you and saving you a lot of money.